Hi, this is Graham Helfrich, Technical Advisor Manager for the Engineering Software here at IHS Markit. Welcome to the weekly Did You Know episode, where we learn how to do something of value that you probably didn't know about your IHS Markit engineering software. Today we're going to learn how to remember your RTA steps. We're going to learn how to automate your RTA workflows, and we're going to learn how to apply consistency for the RTA workflow among multiple engineers within your asset team. What I'm alluding to are the workflow options in Harmony. Workflows are typically used to automate decline analysis for hundreds or thousands of wells. In fact, make sure you check out episode number 11 to see how this can save you a ton of time for your decline analysis. But today's episode is about taking this idea of workflows and applying it to more complex topics like rate transient analysis for the benefit of both saving time and also consistency in the reservoir interpretation and results among your engineers. Let's get started. So I'm here in Harmony Enterprise, and this is going to be the quickest RTA workflow you've ever seen on an unconventional well. I'm not going to be explaining why I'm doing all the steps for the interpretation. That's something you can learn in one of our training courses, and you can contact me or your account manager for these great training options. So I'm going to blast through the analysis of one well so I can show you how to save this workflow for yourself or for others to apply within your asset team. I'm going to start with a quick liquid loading diagnostic. I've got my water gas ratio here. I've got my actual gas rate of red, and I have my critical lift rate being both Turner and also Coleman here. So I can see that my well's current rate is above my critical lift rate. That's good. It means I'm not liquid loaded. Earlier, I only had casing installed and I was in a little bit of trouble, but then once we installed tubing, our velocities increased and we're all good. So that's just a little pre-check I'm going to do as part of my standard workflow on these particular gas wells. I'm just removing the liquid loaded data because those pressures may not be reliable. Finally, I'm doing a rate time plot so I can put a decline analysis that matches my numerical model forecast so I can send my forecast to reserves using decline parameter equivalence. Okay, so I've just done a very quick and standard RTA workflow for a shale gas well, and I want to capture this. So we're going to go to the workflows button here. We're going to save this as a new workflow. and we say save. So now we see that all of these analysis steps, including the customized worksheet names, are saved. So either I can apply this if I forget the steps in the future, or I can share this with other engineers on my asset team so we all have a very consistent workflow and our results are more apples to apples. If we're using Harmony Enterprise in a multi-user SQL database, we'll have access to those. Otherwise, we can export them to our other engineers to use as well. So I've got many other wells here that are just waiting for an RTA interpretation, and I can now apply my shale gas RTA workflow, and it'll set up these steps so that myself or any other engineer can follow these standardized steps for consistency of results. We can go have a look at one of the wells. You see that again, my liquid loading diagnostic is set up here. I see this well is not liquid loaded. I see all the steps are set up ready for an interpretation. So again, these have all been applied to the wells. We can have the standard process and help us remember what are the steps to use for RTA. So what does this really mean for you? Well, the biggest thing is adding consistency in the RTA steps among all the engineers on your asset team. So you can learn the steps if you don't know them already with a training course. That'll help you set up these workflows and then save them, archive them, and bulk apply them among your wells and among your engineers. The second thing is you can save yourself a lot of time. I know if you don't do RTA every day, you might forget what are those steps that I do to get those reliable results. This helps you do that, and it saves you time. You don't have to manually launch each step. It'll do that for you. And that's it. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, definitely call or email me, and subscribe to be notified of next week's Did You Know episode.